All over the country, the margins are thinning. Just 3 weekends remain in the 2025 regular season, and the pressure of the can range from problematic to devastating. Conference races take center stage in Week 12, especially in the SEC. Oklahoma plays at Alabama, and Texas travels to Georgia, Carolina, and Florida, respectively. And the nation's powerhouse conference is ready for a huge Saturday. Additionally, there's plenty of impactful games and league races, including USC in the American. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined at the moment by Michael Bullock. We are awaiting the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for NFL Friday. Not much, not going to waste too much time here. Let's dive right on in. We have 20 games on the docket this week featuring top 25 teams, 2 of them on Friday night. And remember, we started this last week and starting last week and for the rest of the way while we do this show, we will be going by the college football playoff rankings. The newest rankings came out this past Tuesday night, and these rankings are reflective of that. So let's start it off with our first game tomorrow night at 7:30 on ESPN. It will be the number 20 Louisville Cardinals at home at L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium, hosting the Clemson Tigers. This is on ESPN. It will be Anish Shroff, Andre Ware, and Paul Cacratera, and Louisville opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. The weekly Clemson guessing game is a bit more dramatic in Week 12, given the stakes for Louisville. Which version of Clemson, both offensively and defensively, will travel? That uncertainty is enough for me to go with Louisville at home. But Clemson should and will make it uncomfortable. Louisville ekes it out 27-24. Give me Louisville to defeat a very game and scrappy Clemson team. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, number 20 Louisville, tomorrow night at home against Clemson. Oh, yes, Louisville most certainly should be on upset alert.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I think they should definitely be on upset alert here, and who knows? Maybe there's a chance that Clemson could pull it off. Yeah, but I got Louisville winning this one. It's going to be really close, but at the end, I think they will hang on to win this. So, give me Louisville to win. So let's move on to our next game.
All right, Bullock, and you started off the second half of the Friday night doubleheader. It will be at 9 p.m., 9 o'clock tomorrow night, over on Fox. The number 8 Oregon Ducks back at home at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, and they're going to be welcoming the Minnesota Golden Gophers. This game is on Fox. It'll be Jason Benetti, Robert Griffin III, and Alexa Landestoy on the call. Oregon opening up as a 25.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, the second half of the Friday doubleheader. Number 8 Oregon at home against Minnesota.
Yeah, I think this should definitely be an easy win here for Oregon. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Oregon Ducks to win this one. So it's yours.
Road games have flummoxed Minnesota. So far, the Gophers are 0-3 with a combined score differential of 110-20. Not exactly an encouraging stat prior to facing a top 10 opponent that boasts an elite defense. Oregon rolls 38 to 10. 38 to 10. Give me Oregon all over Minnesota. And now we move on to the Saturday slate. 6, count them, 6 12 noon games in this window. And we're going to start it off with the number 2 Indiana Hoosiers back at home at their Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. And they're going to be welcoming the Wisconsin Badgers. You can find this game over on the Big Ten Network. It'll be Jeff Levering, Jake Butt, and Brooke Fletcher on the call. Indiana opening up as a 29.5 point favorite. It's the Hoosiers. Following a perfectly nonsensical upset of Washington, Wisconsin will probably tumble back to reality. I think it's fair to say that a punter leading your team in passing yards is not a sustainable way to win. Another easy one here. Give me Indiana. 37-14. Indiana knocking off Wisconsin. They'll have an easier win this time around, unlike last week, Michael Bullock, when Indiana were very, very fortunate, and I do mean very fortunate, to get out of Happy Valley last week with the most insane catch you will ever see that made Gus Johnson absolutely, I can't even find the words.
Almost lose his damn voice. I mean, my goodness.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that to me was one of the most, man. That was one of the most insane catches I have ever seen in quite a long time. I mean,
unbelievable.
The thing is, Florio, if
Omar
that left
Cooper.
foot does, if that left foot doesn't come, because remember, it was the left foot that came down first in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
If it came down out of bounds first and then the right foot in bounds, I think that would have been ruled an incomplete pass.
Yes, it would have.
So yeah, that they eked out a win by that much. But I don't expect it. I don't expect the same thing this week. It's going to be an easy win for them, no doubt. So, give me Indiana to win this one, and it's going to be much easier than it was last week.
Okay, so moving on to our next 12 noon game. This one will be over on ESPN. The number 3 Texas A&M Aggies at home against the South Carolina Gamecocks. This is over on ESPN. Kyle Field in College Station, Dave Patch, Dusty Dvoracek, and Taylor McGregor. They will have it. Texas A&M opening up as a 19.5 point favorite. So Michael Bullock, number 3, Texas A&M at home against South Carolina. A&M 19.5 the spread.
Yeah, I think this should be an easy win for the Aggies here, and I think they should be able to take care of business here. So, give me the Aggies to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Although it wasn't necessarily a gauntlet, consecutive trips to Arkansas, LSU, and Missouri were no cakewalk for Texas A&M. Finally, the Aggies are back in the comfort of Kyle Field. South Carolina has hung around throughout SEC play, but its offense has not cracked 400 yards all season. And I don't expect it to start here. A&M, another comfortable win here. I got Texas A&M winning this one 31-13. Texas A&M over South Carolina. All right. Moving on. Here we go. One of the feature games of the week. This is one of our main event games of the week. Oh, we got a good one here. 12 noon on ABC. My team, the number 9, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, on the road against the now number 22 Pittsburgh Panthers. Acrisure Stadium, formerly Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And on the call for this game, the voice of Monday Night Raw, Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, and Katie George. And Notre Dame opening up as a 12.5 point favorite. So our first big game of the week, and here it is. Since making the switch to freshman quarterback Mason Heinzel, Pittsburgh has rattled off 5 straight wins and scored 30-plus points in each one. Pitt is also atop the country at 2.4 yards allowed per rush attempt. Notre Dame is facing a serious test. One, I believe they will pass, but they will most certainly be strained doing so. It's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. It's going to be a little high on the high scoring side, but I do believe Notre Dame should do just enough to eke out a win here. Honestly, this is the last major hurdle for Notre Dame because they've got 2 winnable games after this. Senior Day at home next week against Syracuse, and then Thanksgiving weekend at Stanford. I reckon they're going to be heavy favorites, sizable favorites going into both of those games. But this is the last major hurdle here. They get out of Pittsburgh with a win here. I think it could possibly be smooth sailing for the Irish with those 2 remaining games, and then we'll see where their fate lies. So, not going to be easy. Pittsburgh's been playing really well lately, like I said, but I gotta go with Notre Dame here. Not going to be easy, but I do believe Notre Dame should just be able to get out of Pitt with a win here. 31-23, give me Notre Dame to hold off what I believe will be not only a very scrappy, but a very game Pittsburgh team, and what I believe, hands down, is the most exciting game of the new window. Although there is another game that's just as exciting, mainly because of the location, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So, 31-23, give me Notre Dame. Michael Bullock, this is Notre Dame's this is the last major hurdle for Notre Dame. They clear this, I think it's going to be smooth sailing with those 2 remaining games.
Yeah, smooth sailing, and then also I think this is where I think they'll somehow make the college football playoff. That's how I see it. But right now they got to take care of business here with Pittsburgh. But like you said, this ain't going to be easy, and they're going to be scrappy, and they're really going to give Notre Dame all they can handle. But at the end of the day, I think Notre Dame will take care of business. So I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish to win this one and clear that last hurdle. And then, like you said, the last 2 games, smooth sailing. But then again, we could say, we've said it many times before with certain teams, and next thing you know, it turns out to be closer. But you never know.
No.
But I do think it's going to be smooth sailing. But so yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I think we're moving on to that next game that you were talking about because of the location.
Yes, sir, I am. Here it is. Well, how about this, Bullock? We go from my team to your team, as well as MF's team, of course. You're now number 18, Michigan Wolverines, squaring off against the Northwestern Wildcats from the friendly confines, Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. And on top of that, it's Big Noon Saturday on Fox. And you know who that means. The aforementioned Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft. Michigan opening up as an 11.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, your team, and MF's team. You're at number 18, Michigan Wolverines against Northwestern. You guys are playing at Wrigley Field. How about that?
Yeah, that's going to be something really special. I mean, to play a game at Wrigley Field, I mean, to see a football game there, it's something. And that Michigan's going to be going there. So, yeah, that should be really, really good. So, yeah, I think Michigan should be able to win this one and continue on what they're doing. But the thing is, Florio, if they're going to somehow get into that 12-team field, they need wins, and they also need some help if they want to somehow get in there. So we'll see what happens. But right now they got to take care of business with Northwestern here, and that's where what I think is going to happen. So, give me Michigan to win this one. So, Florio, it is yours. And my only question here is, how is Gus Johnson's voice feeling after that ending last week?
Is he out of the hospital too?
I mean, I thought he was going to lose his damn voice.
He's been the man for what, 30 something years almost.
And he continues to show why he is still that guy.
I mean, between that and all those great years with March Madness and the NCAA tournament, I mean,
and don't forget the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS, the Big Noon Saturday on Fox, and also local NBA with the New York Knicks as well. So, I can't help but gain more respect for that man. I tell you what. But anyways, getting to Michigan here. These next two games should be no problem. Even though I know they're on the road. They're both on the road. Northwestern, and then the following week they go to Maryland, win those two games, and then it comes down to the big one in 2 weeks. In the big house. Against your most hated rivals. The defending national champions, who we'll be getting into later on. As far as this game is concerned, at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, Michigan needs a win to remain a factor in the Big Ten. Northwestern has not scored more than 22 points against a Big Ten opponent all season. So the defense-led Wolverines are a clear favorite. I got Michigan winning this game as well. I'm going to go 27-17. I'm going to go with Michigan to hold off Northwestern in what should be a fun atmosphere at Wrigley Field. That's going to be something. Next up on the noon docket, sleeper game of the week from the American Athletic Conference, the now number 24 South Florida Bulls on the road against the Navy midshipmen, Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. This game can be found over on ESPN2 with Roy Philpott, Sam Acho, and Taylor Davis. And the spread favors South Florida. South Florida opening up as a 10-point favorite. Another one of the big games of the week here. This is the sleeper game of the week, if I'm going to be honest with you. In back-to-back losses, red zone issues have plagued Navy. Only 2 of its 6 prime chances have ended with a touchdown. If that trend continues against South Florida, which has yielded a modest 55.3 red zone TD rate, what should be a high-scoring game may shift toward a blowout. I think it will be close for maybe 3 quarters, but I think in the fourth, USF's going to pull away. So I'm going to go with South Florida to win this one. 42-28. Give me South Florida to hold off the Navy. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, South Florida, number 24. Very tough game against Navy. American Conference implications here. But Navy, though, coming off of getting absolutely hammered by my Notre Dame Fighting Irish last Saturday night, 49-10. Ouch.
Yeah, that was not even close. So, yeah, I think it's going to be close for a little while, but I think at the end of the day, I think South Florida will definitely pull away and get this victory. So, give me South Florida to win this one. So, next game.
Our final 12 noon game, and it features the number 25 Cincinnati Bearcats back at home at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, welcoming the Arizona Wildcats. And this game can be found over on Fox Sports 1, FS1. Connor Onion, Mark Helfrich on the call. Cincinnati opening up as a 6-point favorite. Michael Bullock, number 25, Cincinnati, at home against Arizona on FS1 to close out the noon games.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Which match are we talking about here?
This is Arizona versus number 25 Cincinnati
Yeah,
at 12 noon.
yeah, I think it's going to be a close one here, another close one. But I think Cincy will pull out and beat Arizona. So, uh, give me the Bearcats to win. So, it's yours.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be Cincinnati also. Well, I don't really have anything prepared here, but I am going to go with Cincinnati to win this one though. This is another one of those tricky sleeper matchups, but I think Cincinnati will do just enough. Arizona's a scrappy team, but I think Arizona will, or I should say Cincinnati rather, will eke it out. Give me Cincinnati over Arizona, 34-28. I have Cincinnati holding off Arizona. And now we go from 6-12 noon games to 6-3:30 games on our docket this week. And oh boy, what a way to start off the 3:30 window with another one of the games of the week. This is another one of the big main event games this week. Big game in the SEC. The number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide at home at Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. And they're going to be welcoming the number 11 Oklahoma Sooners. Oh, goody here. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, Molly McGrath will have the call for ABC. And Alabama opening up as a 6-point favorite. Yeah. Oklahoma forced 3 turnovers in a tight win over Tennessee after managing 0 takeaways in a close loss to Ole Miss. Those results are not that simple, but the difference is very meaningful. Bama has encountered some recent fumbling issues, yet hasn't finished with a negative margin this season. Whether Oklahoma can snap that streak will probably shape the outcome. But with the game being in Tuscaloosa, I got to give a slight edge to Alabama here. But this is going to be a close game. This is going to be a hard-fought game, I believe, from the opening kick to the very end. But I think Alabama is going to do just enough to get by Oklahoma here. 26-20, give me Alabama to hold off a very game Oklahoma team in what will be one of the most exciting games of the week for sure. 26-20, Bama wins. Michael Bullock, one of our marquee main event games of the week to kick off the 3:30 window. Number 4, Alabama at home against number 11, Oklahoma. 2 of the most successful programs in the history of college football squaring off.
Yeah, a lot of history with these two. I mean, they produced some really great players in the history of their school. So I think this is going to be very close all the way through. I mean, these are 2 good teams that, as of right now, would be in the college football playoffs. So we'll see how this all plays out. Yeah, this game is in Alabama at Alabama. So, but if it was in Oklahoma, I would call for the upset. But it's in Alabama, so I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide to win this one as well. So let's move on, Florio.
All right, and we move on to our next 3:30 matchup. And it will feature the number 6 Texas Tech Red Raiders back at home at Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, welcoming the Knights of UCF. And this game will be over on Fox. Fox will have this game. It'll be Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, and Josh Sims. And Texas Tech opening up as a 23.5-point favorite. And why not, Michael Bullock? Did you see what they did to BYU in what was supposed to be the game of the week last week? Not even close.
Yeah, this was last week was supposed to be the game of the week with those two, and yeah, this wasn't even close. But this was just Texas Tech proving why they are why they are where they are right now. So, and I mean, it was just a complete and utter domination of BYU. So, Yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So I am gonna go with the Texas Tech Red Raiders to win this one, and yeah, and I think they're gonna continue to roll. So it's yours, Florio.
And Michael Bullock, I got some great news for you, my friend.
I see it.
How does
Make
8 in a
that
row sound?
8 in a row sounds as Booker T would say, good.
And how else does it sound when I tell you that your New England Patriots, they defeat the New York Jets? That's what we're getting at here. Breaking news. The Michael Bullock's New England Patriots, the gravy train keeps on rolling, baby. 27-14 over the New York Jets.
Yay!
The Jets dropped to 2-8, and the New England Patriots 9-2, and strengthen their stranglehold on the AFC East.
That's 8 in a row now. And the last time they had 8 in a row was back in 2019, and that was the year they lost in the wild card round to the Tennessee Titans. And who were the Titans coached by, Florio?
Mr. Mike Vrabel.
Exactly.
Man, oh man, what a run.
And a lot of people are saying right now he's the front runner to be the coach of the year.
Right now, it's a 2-horse race between him and Shane Steichen, but the latest odds that I came across earlier today actually had Vrabel as the front runner, just ahead of Shane Steichen. But
and there's a lot of people who are saying that Drake May is the favorite to win the MVP.
I'm not going to argue that. I mean, that young man just keeps on rolling, man. Unbelievable. So,
I mean, if you would have told me at this point this team would be 9-2, leading the division, and as of right now,
with a stranglehold,
as of right now, have the best record in the NFL, what would you have told me back when we were previewing the season? If I told you that,
I would have said wrong. Buffalo.
You would have said Buffalo all day and all night.
And Josh Allen's going to win another MVP. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, what a story!
And they get the Bengals next week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In Cincinnati. So, and with no
tricky game.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, with Joe Flacco, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
And of course, there's also the news that Joe Burrow is starting to make some progress.
So, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he'll be ready by then.
Probably not, but history is on your side because you went into. Remember what happened last year? The Patriots went into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals opening week last year. So
with Joe Burrow as the quarterback,
do it again. So we'll get into that. We'll get into.
Yeah, let's get back into this.
We'll definitely get more into that tomorrow night as part of NFL Friday. So
yeah, let's get back to this now.
Patriots a winner. So okay. So yeet on that. Okay. I believe it was my turn to talk about the Texas Tech game. So okay. Just gotta find it here. Okay. Long known for its offensive prowess, Texas Tech has flipped the script as a dominant defensive team in 2025. Texas Tech has surrendered more than 20 points just once, and UCF has surpassed that number only twice in Big 12 play. I'm going with Texas Tech as well. My final score, 30-14. Texas Tech all over UCF. Next up, it is the number 15 Miami Hurricanes, once again at home at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, welcoming the North Carolina State Wolfpack. And you can find this game over on ESPN. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kessenich, they'll be there. And Miami opening up as a 15.5-point favorite. So getting into this one, 2 weeks ago, NC State racked up 583 yards in a 48-36 upset of then unbeaten Georgia Tech. At their best, thanks to quarterback CJ Bailey, the Wolfpack are dynamic. The problem is NC State's defense has typically been a sieve. Miami must contain Bailey, but the Canes should be able to pick apart the pack. Close, high-scoring game, but I think Miami should do just enough here. 36-29, give me Miami to outlast a game and scrappy NC State team. So, not much more. Michael Bullock, number 15, Miami, the U. Back at the Hard Rock once again, hosting NC State.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. I'm going to go with Miami to win this one. I think I see them handling their business with NC State. So, yeah, give me Miami. So, let's move on.
We move on to our next matchup. The number 16 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on the road against the Boston College Eagles. Alumni Stadium, Chestnut Hill. This is over on the ACC Network. Wes Durham, Steve Adazio, and Dana Boyle. And Georgia Tech opening up as a 16.5-point favorite. So, Michael Bullock, Georgia Tech on the road against Boston College.
Yeah, I think this should be an easy one for Georgia Tech. I mean, they should be able to handle their business with Boston College. I mean, only one win on the season for Bill O'Brien, and it's just going to be another long day for him. So, I got Georgia Tech winning. It's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be Georgia Tech. Boston College has not defeated an FBS school and is the fourth worst run defense among power conference teams. I am not going to overthink this one. If Boston College were to spring the upset, which they almost did against Notre Dame, I mean, they had Notre Dame on the ropes early in that game. But if they were to spring the upset here, good for them. But honestly, it's not going to happen here. I got Georgia Tech winning this one comfortably, 38-17. Give me Georgia Tech over Boston College. And now we move on to another one of the big games of the week. Another one of the big ones here. Over on the Big Ten Network, the number 17 USC Trojans at home against the number 21 Iowa Hawkeyes. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Big Ten Network will have it. Rhett Lewis and Yogi Roth on the call. USC opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. Another one of the big games of the week here. After being so painfully close to upsetting Oregon last week, can Iowa shake the disappointment on the road? That seems like a tough ask, even as USC presents a quote-unquote spoiler opportunities for the Hawkeyes once again. USC is perfect at home in 2025, and I believe they will remain just that. 27-16, give me USC to defeat Oregon in the Coliseum. So, Michael Bullock, another one of the big games of the week. Number 17 USC hosting number 21 Iowa in the LA Coliseum on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a really close one here, but I do have USC winning this one in a close game. So give me USC to win this one. So let's move on.
And I do believe we have one more 3:30 game left, and it will feature the number 19 Virginia Cavaliers on the road against the Duke Blue Devils from Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium. This game will be over on ESPN2. Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, and Dawn Davenport on the call. And believe it or not, Duke is opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. What? Bullock, make this make sense.
I don't know if I can make sense of it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think they got this one wrong. I mean,
I agree.
I don't know why they have Duke as the favorite, but I gotta go with Virginia here. I mean, I'm just still confused about this one, but either way, I got Virginia winning, so it's yours.
Yeah. Very surprising spread here, but we've seen some of those before. Duke is coming off a loss to UConn, yet opened as the favorite, not in the least because Virginia quarterback Chandler Morris exited last Saturday's loss after a hit to the head. As long as he's available, though, Virginia can snag a road win. And I believe they will do just that. Close game, high-scoring game, 31-27, give me Virginia to outlast Duke. And now we move on. We have a 4:15 game before we get to the primetime games. 4:15 over on the SEC network. You could pretty much call this the dud game of the week, although we have another one coming up in a little bit. But this is the dud game of the week. You call this the zonk game of the week, if you will. SEC network at 4:15. The number 23 Tennessee Volunteers back at home at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, hosting the Aggies of New Mexico State. And on the call for this game will be Dave Neal alongside of Fozzie Whitaker. And Tennessee opening up as the biggest favorite of the week. Tennessee opening up as a 39.5 point favorite. While a blowout is the expectation, New Mexico State is a top 10 team nationally with 12 interceptions this year. You never know what a few turnovers can do. But Tennessee is going to smash them. This is the lock of the week for me. Tennessee all over New Mexico State, 47-17. Rocky Top all day long. Michael Bullock, number 23, Tennessee against New Mexico State. Tennessee, 39.5 point favorites.
Yeah, it's going to be Rocky Top all day. So give me Tennessee to win this one, and it's not even going to be close. It is yours.
No, indeed not. All right, now we're going to get into the primetime games. We got 2 7 o'clock games. We got 2 7:30 games. And we even have a late night game. We even have an after dark game, if you will, at 10:15. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's start it off with the 7 o'clock games. And we started off with the number 7, Ole Miss Rebels. They're at home at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford. And they're going to be hosting the Florida Gators. And you can find this game over on ESPN. And on the call for that will be Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, and Chris Budden. And it will be Ole Miss. We got Ole Miss opening up as a 14-point favorite. So Bullock, I believe this goes to you. Number 7, Ole Miss at home against Florida to kick off the primetime slate.
Yeah, I think this should be an easy win here for Ole Miss. So I got Ole Miss winning this one. So it's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be Ole Miss, no doubt about it. The dreaded "did they give up" question is looming around Florida, which got flat out embarrassed in a 38-7 loss to a bad Kentucky team. I'm inclined to say the meltdown will inspire what's been a solid Florida defense, even though that will not be enough to shock Ole Miss in its own building. Ole Miss wins this one 30-17. Give me Ole Miss over Florida. The other 7 p.m. game, this will be over on ESPN2, and it will feature the number 13 Utah Utes on the road against the Baylor Bears, McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. ESPN2 is where you can find this game with Lowell Galindo and Aaron Murray, and Utah opening up as an 8.5 point favorite. Baylor's defense has largely been a mess, giving up 27 plus points in 7 of the Bears' 9 outings this season. For good reason, Utah is favored. But if Utah's strong secondary cracks opposite a deep Baylor pass-catching group, there's a definite path to an upset at home. But I think Utah is going to just barely pull this one out here. Give me Utah to eke it out at Baylor. 31-27. Give me Utah to hold off a very scrappy and game Baylor team. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, we have number 13 Utah on upset alert at Baylor.
Yeah, I think they should be on upset alert, but I think it's going to be close for a while. But I think at the end of the day, I think Utah will eke this one out and definitely get the win here. So give me Utah to win this one. So I think I think we move on to the next game.
We got 3 more to go. And let's get into the first of our 2 7:30 games. One's a dud. The other is another one of the big games of the week. Let's get the dud out of the way first. 7:30, Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. The number 1 reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, at home at the Horseshoe, Ohio Stadium in Columbus. And they're going to be hosting the UCLA Bruins. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC, you know who that means. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, and Catherine Tappan. Ohio State opening up as a 31.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, the champs. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it's going to be the champs all night long. They're going to, it's going to be a laugher, and they're going to continue their undefeated season and look to continue to roll, especially now especially with them being 2 weeks away from meeting up with their rivals, the Michigan Wolverines. So they just need to stay focused not just with this one, but the next game. And then that's when you get to the big one. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted, right? UCLA's surge commanded some national headlines, but a loss to Nebraska followed a 50-point beatdown by Indiana. Ohio State has held all 9 opponents to 16 points or fewer. Not even close. This is another one of the locks of the week right here. Ohio State all over UCLA, 45-14. Give me Ohio State all over UCLA. And this is the third game of the big. This is another one of the big main event games of the week. ABC Saturday night game of the week, and what a good one we got here. The number 5 Maiden Georgia Bulldogs at home at Sanford Stadium in Athens in the Hedges, welcoming the number 10 Texas Longhorns. And back in their traditional Saturday night spot on ABC, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, Georgia opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. In a rematch of last year's SEC championship game, Georgia has a chance to eliminate Texas from this season's race. One major concern on Texas's side is the defense. Once viewed as a lockdown group, just ceded 38 points to Mississippi State and 31 to Vanderbilt. That decline is not a good sign entering a trip to Athens. Close game, high-scoring game, but I'm going to go with the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs here. Now, if this was in Austin, I might sway towards the Longhorns, but with the game being in Athens with those Hedges, I got to go with Georgia. Close game, high-scoring game, 30-24. Give me Georgia to outlast Texas in what should be another one of the biggie games of the week. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, another main event matchup here. Number 5 Georgia at home against number 10 Texas. Rematch of last year's SEC championship game with Chris and Herbie.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big game right here. I mean, 2 teams as of right now would both be in the college football playoff, and yeah, and like you said, if this game was in Texas, I would definitely go with Texas, but it's in Sanford Stadium, so yeah, I got to go with the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs. It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be a close one, but Georgia's going to pull it out at the end. So, it's yours.
And we got one game left I guess we could call this the Big 12 After Dark. 10:15 p.m. on ESPN, our final game of the night. The number 12 BYU Cougars at home at Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah, welcoming the TCU Horned Frogs. This will be over on ESPN. Dave Fleming, Brock Osweiler, and Stormy Buonantony. And it's BYU opening up with the closest spread of the week. BYU opening up as, well, actually, no, Louisville had the closest spread at the 2.5. This is the second closest. BYU opening up as only a 3.5 point favorite. So there's not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you lead off on the final game of the night. Number 12, BYU at home against TCU. BYU looking to bounce back after getting embarrassed by Texas Tech.
Yeah, they're looking to bounce back after getting embarrassed last week. And look, I think they're still going to have their hands full in this game, but in the end, I think they do bounce back here. So I got BYU winning this one. So, Florio, you got the final say.
Indeed, I do. And tell you what, timely defense seems destined to shape a result between two teams accustomed to playing close games. In short, I'll give a slight edge to BYU because of how inefficient TCU's offense has been lately. It's not a comfortable pick, though. I think BYU should do just enough to get it to eke it out here. I'm going to go 27-24 BYU over TCU. And with that, that will put the bow on this Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. We will be back with you again tomorrow night, right back here on the Tone 25 for the, Week 13 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. As of right now, we only have, 3-4 shows remaining, which is craziness. I feel like we just started this new season just yesterday, but no. We only have a few shows left.
Yeah, I think we only have 3 because we got one next week and then
3 regular season shows and then championship week. So that's 4. So because we do championship week. So
I know that. That's why I thought there was 3, including
3 in the regular season, yes. So but anyway, actually no, you're right. 2 regular season weeks and then championship weeks. So you're right, Bullock. It is actually 3. I apologize. So, okay. Tomorrow night, NFL Friday, week 11 edition tomorrow night. We will recap the Jets and the Patriots. I'm sure Bullock's going to have I know Michael Bullock will be taking another victory lap, as he rightfully should. So, and why not? I mean, look how well his team is doing. Unbelievable. Coming out of nowhere like this. Amazing. But we'll recap the Jets and the Patriots, and then we'll preview the remaining games of week number 11 and some good games on the table. Our game of the week via the cross flex, the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, that's going to be a goodie. And of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Buffalo Bills. That's another one of the big games. And then on the other side of the ledger, huge game in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi. First place in the NFC West to the winner. That is going to be, wow. It's going to be something. So that's tomorrow night. And then Saturday, MF, Braves Fan 95. Hopefully he'll be here for it. We'll have it. The Cerebral Smack Talk. The return of TNA Impact with an ending that you have got to see to believe. That's all I'm going to say. And not only an ending you got to see to believe, but an ending nobody saw coming. I certainly didn't see it coming. Bullock didn't see it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming. But we'll get into that on Saturday, as well as Friday Night SmackDown, of course. And then Tuesday night, we started fresh with another week of Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, and the first week of NXT Gold Rush from the theater in Madison Square Garden, and a preview of next Thursday's football game featuring my Buffalo Bills squaring off against the Houston Texans in Houston. So, and then 1 week from tonight, the Week 13 edition of College Football Thursday. Got to be honest with you. Well, actually, for the most part, it's a meh week, but I do see a few good games here. There are a few good ones here. Missouri against Oklahoma, BYU against Cincinnati, Louisville against SMU, USC and Oregon. Ooh, that's going to be a goodie there. And Pittsburgh against Georgia Tech, and that's pretty much it. You could consider that. You could consider next week an appetizer week, because the following week, of course, that's the football feast. 2 weeks from in 2 weeks, the night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday night, November the 26th, our annual football feast. And you know how we do that. We preview the 3 Thanksgiving games in the NFL, and we also preview the full college football slate rivalry week. Oh my goodness. That's all I can say on that. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Week 11 edition of NFL Friday, this is Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night, for the Week 11 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.